implementing security operations for the convention. Some have raised concerns that Wisconsin is an open carry state, but guns will not be allowed in the security area around the convention site. The convention starts today and runs through Thursday. Next, Trump says he plans to call for national unity in his RNC speech. He told the Washington Examiner he rewrote his speech after the assassination attempt. He said he was going to focus on President Biden's policies, but now wants to take advantage of the moment to unite the country. Trump says he turned his head to look at the screen showing data from his speech at the moment the bullet hit his ear. Trump says it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. He says he's been given a chance to bring the country together.
Do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
For allies in the Pacific. You know, when I came to office,
what about the American citizens?
Would inevitably surpass the United States. That's not the case anymore. And I'm going to keep working to end the war in Gaza, bring home all the hostages, and bring peace and security to the Middle East and end this war. We're also working around the clock to bring home Americans being unjustly detained all around the world.
Oh, really?
You know,
what about in Russia?
Since my inauguration. On that day, I told you, as I stood in that winter, we were stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities. We're in the grip of the war. We were in the grip of the worst pandemic in the century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. We came together as Americans. We got through it. We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure. Today we have the strongest economy in the world, creating nearly 16 million new jobs, a record. Wages are up. Inflation continues to come down. The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years. We're literally rebuilding our entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, tribal communities.
I'm tired of your lies.
Come back to America.
Challenges in accurately valuing defense articles. The Pentagon says last year staff used replacement value instead of depreciated value to value the billions in aid sent to Ukraine. The error created a path for billions more to be sent to Kyiv. The Accountability Office said a vague definition of value in the Foreign Assistance Act caused inconsistencies in the reported value. The office also cited the lack of specific valuation guidance for Presidential Drawdown Authority. The office is recommending that Congress clarify the definition of value in defense articles that are authorized through the Presidential Drawdown Authority. And authorities say a burning car pushed into a government.
Do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the president of the entity of Israel, is in town to give a speech to Congress, and he should not be here, and we are here to try to prevent him from speaking to our Congress.
I'm here for any voice that wants to speak out, regardless of the side of the issue they're on. Our veterans are dying on the streets by heroin. And they don't care about that. They care about giving money to foreign countries like Ukraine and Israel. For America first.
Free Gaza to end the genocide, to let the U.S. government know the will of the people.
Netanyahu's a war criminal, and Congress should not be recognizing him. And as Americans and as Jews, we're outraged.
I understand totally about the Israeli hostages that should be freed as soon as possible. But, someone say one evil doesn't fix another evil.
We in English say peace. The Jews say shalom. The Muslims say salam. Peace, salam, shalom.
But there aren't very many people on the pro-Israel side that have the courage to come out. But I am not a Jew with trembling knees, and that's what I'm here to say.
What's your message now to members of Congress who are welcoming Prime Minister Netanyahu into the Capitol?
Shame. End the arms embargo, or start an arms embargo. stop selling arms and send him to The Hague.
Do you have any hope for Vice President Harris in terms of breaking peace in the Middle East?
They've been
I think America is in a unique place, and hopefully maybe President Harris can do something about it.
Marxist.
Still, we want hope. We have that. We can't give up hope.
Hopefully, yeah, but I'm not confident, really.
Why hide your faces?
Whoever ends up being president next can help
What are you
resolve
scared of?
peace in the Middle East in a way that is in favor of the Israelis and the Palestinians. But, you know, we have to defend ourselves. We're being attacked at 7 borders.
Families of hostages marched in Tel Aviv while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited D.C. Meanwhile, Israeli forces made a shocking discovery when searching a child's bedroom in the Gaza Strip. NTD's Jason Perry has the update.
They hide among the civilians.
In a video released on Wednesday, Israeli forces made their way into a children's bedroom in the Gaza Strip and found this tunnel entrance. One of the Israeli troops explained.
We are in the Shabura camp. During scans in one of the buildings moving the children's bed, we detected a tunnel shaft containing many weapons, including AK-47s, munitions, and medical equipment.
Israeli forces also reported killing terrorists by sniper fire and striking dozens of terror targets, including this building in the central Gaza Strip. A Palestinian woman who was 9 months pregnant was recently killed by an Israeli airstrike. She was brought to the hospital where this doctor said they performed emergency surgery to try to save the baby.
The newborn was delivered and placed in the incubator. Thank God this baby's life was saved and he is now alive and well.
The deceased woman's father said this.
She was married for 10 months only. She got married on September 25th and was martyred on July 19th. Praise God how she lived long enough to give birth to this baby.
While many hospitals in the Gaza Strip have been overwhelmed with caring for the injured, one hospital has also become a shelter for residents after Israel recently ordered evacuations from parts of Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip.
Here we are, sleeping in Nasser Hospital on the ground, as you can see. We have no bed, no food, and no drink. We want to go back. Take us back to our homes. We have had enough of war.
And another hospital in Rafah now has internet access, thanks to
Tell that
Elon
to
Musk's Starlink, which can
Tell them to give
potentially
up their
help save
weapons.
lives. Meanwhile, in Israel on Tuesday, families of hostages marched in Tel Aviv, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited Washington, D.C.
I personally am waiting for my beautiful cousin, Helmilga, who was kidnapped 39, and she's 40 years old now, in captivity in Gaza, right now in the hands of the terrorists that can do whatever he wants to her at the moment, and we have to get her back.
On Wednesday, Israeli government spokesperson David Mencer said Netanyahu sent Israel's negotiation team to hold additional discussions on Thursday. Jason Perry, NTD News.
Coming up, a missing Southern California teenager is found safe. Her family and friends are now speaking out to the community. That and more.
Do the job. So she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. They know Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
On the border. I gave her all of the policies that she needed. All of them. And she refused to implement them.
Judd endorsed Trump for the presidency.
There
The
you
rally
go,
marked Trump's
Harris.
first public
The
campaign
borders
event since
are.
Biden dropped out of the 2024 matchup and Harris became the Democrats' likely nominee.
My fellow Americans,
The event concluded minutes before Biden addressed the nation to explain he dropped his re-election bid. Vice President Harris held a rally of her own in Indianapolis. She told members of the historically African-American sorority Zeta Phi Beta that they are not playing around and asked for their help in electing her president. Harris says the country is witnessing a full assault on what she called hard-won freedoms and rights.
Freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom to learn and acknowledge our true and full history. And the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government
telling her what to do.
Fox
No,
News
well,
Media
hell, you
proposed
told
hosting a
us
debate
what to
between
do
Trump and Harris on
past
September
3 years.
17th in Pennsylvania. The news network sent
Jesus, that
formal letters
woman's
to both
alive.
campaigns Wednesday, suggesting that Brett Baer and Martha McCallum host the debate. Trump says he's willing to debate Harris multiple times before the 2024 presidential election. Real Clear polling averages show Trump with about a 1.7% lead over Harris. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
House Democratic women are endorsing Kamala Harris for president. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi joined the event. Pelosi's public support for Harris came about a day after President Biden announced his decision to leave the presidential race.
I know officially her strength.
Yeah, I
was
can't
about
stand that
strength
woman.
and determination in terms of public policy. We know most recently in terms of a woman's right to choose, but the list is vast.
That's all you got with Harris.
I know her personally. She's a person of great faith, of deep faith, and commitment to public service in the most unselfish way.
Yeah, right.
Pelosi also praised President Biden as one of the most consequential presidents in American history. This was hours after he gave a speech saying he withdrew from his re-election campaign. Biden said it was the best way to unite the country. A judge threatened to sanction Hunter Biden's lawyers yesterday for making false statements in a recent motion to throw out his federal tax indictment. District Judge Mark Scarsi issued the warning, accusing the attorneys of misrepresenting the history of the case. He gave them 1 week to explain themselves, or they could face sanctions. The lawyers claimed special counsel David Weiss did not charge anyone in the probe when he was serving as U.S. attorney. He was later named as special counsel, but the judge wrote that their statements were not true. Hunter Biden's lawyers want the judge to toss out the following federal indictment, indictment following federal judge Eileen Cannon's rulings on special counsels that led to the dismissal of Trump's classified documents case. Hunter pleaded not guilty to tax evasion and other violations and is scheduled to stand trial in September.
And still to come, the DOJ has finalized its plea deal with Boeing. The aviation company
Do the job. So she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. They know Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
On Valentine's Day weekend, I was one of the first elected officials in the country to perform same-sex marriages.
More hateful rhetoric from Kamala Harris.
It pains me so to think 20 years later that there are some young teachers in their 20s who are afraid to put up a photograph of themselves and their partner for fear they could lose their job.
Total hateful rhetoric.
And what is their
from
job? The most noble of work,
Democrats.
teaching other people's children.
Every day, the
And
same
God knows we don't
hateful
pay enough
rhetoric.
as it is.
That's what made somebody want to shoot Donald Trump.
In this moment, we are in a fight for our most fundamental freedoms. And to this room of leaders, I say, bring it on.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it on.
Do the job. So she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. They know Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
They want to take your guns.
We who believe that every American should be free from bigotry and hate will fight to protect our teachers and our students from discrimination.
While you croon them.
And make sure every student can learn America's history.
Only 2% of the population knows it now.
Who believe in reproductive freedom will restore the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do.
Well, you told us what to do. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. All the while you...
Slam That's right, bring it on.
Yeah, bring your stupid shit on.
Ultimately, do the job. So she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. No, Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.